You are a superstar product manager, there is no doubt about that. But this may not be enough for your product to take off. You invested a lot of time in this new product or the feature release. You know the market, you know the customer's needs. The UX turned even better than what you imagined, but your product isn't selling enough. On this Practical Wednesday, we will discuss the last mile in your product lifecycle, selling the product. Hello, leaguers, and welcome to today's Practical Wednesday, the place where we meet every Wednesday to advance your product management know-how. So today we are going to talk about everything product managers should know about sales. We will cover what do salespeople want from product managers, how can product managers and salespeople work better together, and most importantly of all, what you can achieve for your product growth and your product needs. Let's say it this way, this time you invest in the session today is going to jump up your career with an advantage that only a few product managers have. By the way, it's great meeting you. My name is Moriya Kassis and I'm the founder and general manager of Product League. And what we do is helping you to become the best product manager you can be. Product League is a mentoring program for product managers by product managers. And I want to meet you. So please type your name and where you're from in the comments so we'll get to know each one better. And if you want more tips, how to videos, articles, and everything product, so you could become the best product manager you can be, please like this video and our channel and subscribe to it so you will be reminded of all the great content that we just create just for you. And today, as I said before, we are going to talk about sales for product managers. We're going to learn about sales for product managers, and we are going to do this with the one and only, the wonderful Shahaf Rozanski, Vice President of BizDev and Strategic Accounts at Celebrite and Product League Mentor. How are you today?
I'm great, Moriya. How are you?
I'm good, and super excited about this session because it's so important, right? Oftentimes we create a product, we invest the time, we do all the things we need, we even find product market fit, and sometimes, we have to say it, sometimes this is just not enough, right? And this is why this is such a crucial talk and session for all product managers. And I truly believe that this is an advantage that only a few product managers have. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to sharpen up our skills. It's going to be super interesting. And I want the audience to know why I am so excited about having you, Shahaf, here with us. So as I said, Shahaf Rozanski is Vice President of Product and Strategic Accounts at Celebrite and Product League Mentor. Shahaf is passionate about helping businesses to generate value to their end customers through technology, relying on deep analysis of market landscape, competition, and on the identification of true customers' needs. This is important. He conceptualized and delivered various revenue-generating solutions to the enterprise and public safety market. And in his current role, he's helping Celebrite with service providers to mitigate risk related to digital data and everything that has to do with it. And we are going to learn from you how to take all these nerdy stuff and to make them things that actually people want to pay for. That's a big one.
Absolutely. So thanks for the introduction. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the opportunity, to speak in front of this audience. It's a great pleasure. You convinced me, to come and present. I'm so glad that we did it because there's so much that we can learn together in this session. Not just me providing information, but I'm also looking forward to hear from our community and to hear from them and to learn.
So this is the CTA. This is the call to action that everyone in the audience now need to follow because Shahaf and myself want to hear from you. So please make sure to use the chat to interact with us. Shahaf wants your question. He wants to give you the answers you're looking for when it comes to sales for product managers and how to combine the two together. Don't miss out on this opportunity and bring on the questions because I actually know that Shahaf is much looking forward to be challenged and to answer these questions, and this is the right attitude.
Awesome. Yeah. Indeed.
What do you say? Are we ready to dig in and to start?
Absolutely.
Amazing. The floor is yours. I'm going to interrupt and have small chats and questions with you during the way, and just can't wait to learn from you. Thank you very much, Shahaf.
Thank you all very, very, very much. Appreciate everyone joining this evening, afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. This session is absolutely for you. It's absolutely for you on how you can excel working with sales. I know it's something that some of us doesn't really like some of the time, but I do recommend that you listen carefully and you provide comments and feedback, because this session might change some of your perspective. Okay, so I want to start with a short story about things that happened to me a few years ago. I was running a new product, a very, very interesting offering related to mobile, and we were talking with a lot of customers. We really understood their needs. We had, I think, about 15 to 20 customers that already engaged with us and became an interesting opportunity to sell the new product. We did an amazing job with the UI and the UX, and I think we even sold one or two customers, but the product didn't pick up, sales didn't pick up, and this was extremely, extremely frustrating. Listen, we worked on almost a year about this product, and we knew that, every time we had a conversation with the customers, they told us, listen, we really need it, but sales are not picking up. What to do? I believe that I'm the only one in this room, or this virtual room, that had this problem, or I hope. But if you had this problem, so stay tuned and listen further. Before I go and share with you more, I want to share with you my knowledge journey and how did I came across, to providing you with this session today. So I started long time ago. I only look young. And I started in R&D, grew up myself in R&D, managing teams and groups of R&D. Then at one point, I transitioned to product management, and for the last 15 years or so, I've been doing product management. Very, very happy about it. I love product management. At some point along the years, I had the great opportunity to, on top of doing product management, also to establish a new business unit and to be responsible for salespeople and to be responsible for P&L, which gave me a lot of perspective about how sales thinks. I thought as a product manager that I knew how they think, and I think I kind of interacted with them in a very good manner. However, if I only knew what I have experienced in the last 3 years, when I was more focused around the product management, I probably could have done better. I would share my apologies in the beginning if there's any person from sales or from product manager in the audience, and some of the things that I might say here might be offending. This was not my intention. I'm trying to create a picture, or to share with you a story eventually that will make sense for you. Some of the things are not applying to all product management, some of the managers, some of the things are not applying to all salespeople, but generally saying, if you will take those elements and put into your day-to-day, these things can help you when working with the product management. And if I offended anyone, send me an email. We have a good conversation over Zoom or even face-to-face, and they're more than happy to apologize in person. So with that being said, a few years ago, I had a good sales counterpart. His name was Frank. And I remember that the first time that I met Frank, it was in a conference I think it was in Austin, Texas, when we actually could flew over there. And I remember I was sitting in a big empty ballroom in the conference room, and someone from marketing was next to me. And then Frank came in, all sure of himself, great guy. Loved him. We had a great relationship, and we started talking. And one of the first questions that Frank asked me, he told me, Shahaf, who is your biggest customer? And then I said, well, obviously, I know we have this agency and that agency, and we're working with this and that. And after a minute of giving my product spiel or market spiel at that case, Frank stopped me and said, Shahaf, you didn't understand me. Who is your biggest customer? And I understood something here is not the way that Frank is looking, or this is not what Frank is looking to hear. So I told him, Frank, I don't know, tell me, who is my biggest customer? And he told me, I'm your biggest customer. The sales person is your biggest customer. And in a sense, he's right. If you think about it, at least in the internal audience of your organization, your biggest customer are the sales people. Like we are the customer of R&D. Sales are our biggest customer, and we need to think about it that way. And the first way to think about it that way is to know more about this customer. So let's start. Let's talk about what we know about sales. First of all, and you probably heard it a long time, salespeople are money driven. You can't imagine how every decision is taken when it is related to money. If there's no money, there's no sales. If they don't see the ability to get money out of that, they will not sell the product. This is critical to understand. Eventually, everything evolves around that. There's nothing bad about it. They are making money for the company, and they need to make a lot of money from themselves. This is great, but remember this thing. If you want to drive sale, you need to show them the money. Sales are also under enormous pressure. It's unbelievable. Think about that every day you need to wake up and you need to generate money for your company. And if you're not doing that, you are at risk. It doesn't matter, how good you did in the last quarter. It doesn't matter that in the last 5 years you've been the most spectacular salesperson. If you are not bringing the money, you're out. Lots of pressure. And what's also adding to this pressure is that every month, every quarter, every year, the counter goes to zero, from 100 to zero, and they need to start all over and over again. So lots of pressure involved, and therefore they don't have time. They don't have as much time. They need to close the next deal, and they need to do it urgently and generate more revenue to the company. In that sense, most will choose the easy path to success. If I can do something easy and generate revenue, I will do that. If something is difficult, I'm not sure I'm going to invest in that, or maybe, I will do it later when I will have more time, but I don't have more time. So let me take the easiest path and generate more revenue for me. And if I can see success first, if I can see other people that are succeeding, this excites me. Because if I can see other salespeople that are already selling, how come they're selling? How come they're making more money? Can I use that in order to generate more revenue for my company? I want in. So remember these ones, because these are kind of the guidance to sales. And if you actually understand them, you know how to operate with sales. On the other hand, sales are extremely strong at business. They know the business back and forth. Some of the greatest ideas related to business and commercial came from sales person, and I was really lucky to have great sales people working with me and help me there. They are great replicator. What do I mean? If they have the right recipe, they will know how to replicate and replicate and replicate, and more money and more money and more money and more money. They just need the recipe. They are also awesome storytellers. They know how to tell the story to the customer, and they very much care about this customer. Remember, the first call of an unhappy customer is not to the support, not to the product guy, not to the sales engineer. It is to the salesperson, and the salesperson needs to handle that. And therefore, this salesperson is so it's so important for him that the customer would be satisfied and that the customer will get what he wants, because they really care about their customers. And last but not least, that I would say, they can get out of almost every situation. I can tell you, there have been amazing situations where I've been on sales calls, and probably you already have been on sales calls, that you say someone threw something into the table, and you said, how is he going to get out of that? What is going to tell the customer? And they got out of it. And this is really important because you can trust them to be able to put the right perspective in front of the customer and put the right things in front of the customers that will make the company look good and you look good, and so on and so forth. So we understood a little bit more about sales, but now I will ask you why having a great product isn't enough, and try to think about it from a sales perspective point of it. Think about it for a second before I'm going to share. Actually, I'm very interested to know, and let's put it in the comments, please, if you can. What percentage of you think or let's put it differently? What is the percentage of impact that sales have on the success of a new product? Is it 25%? Is it 50%? Is it 100%? Versus product fit and other things like having a great product. What percentage does sales has to do with the success of a new product? We will look into it later. So the question was, why having a great product isn't enough from the sales perspective. First of all, when there's not enough incentive to sell, new products will not be sold. If a salesperson can sell a different product and get higher commission, he will sell a different product and get higher commission. If it will take him less time to sell this other product, he will do that. There's no way that you're going to convince to sell a product that they are not making great commission on that versus other commissions that he can make elsewhere. This is also very much related to the effort that sales needs to make. If now a salesperson needs to invest 3 times, 4 times more in order to sell a specific new product that you brought into the table versus the others, they will reconsider that, especially if the incentive is not high enough. Also, another thing to remember is that there might be other sales priority. Maybe the sales organization is going through transition, and now they're looking into different account mapping, or there's other focused area they want to grow a specific area in the world, or there's a different product that they want to put the focus on. If you are not part of your sales priority, you will have lesser chance to sell your product. Another important thing, messaging cannot be complex. We need a crisp, we need a very clear message to sales, so they will be able to pitch it. If it's too complex, they will not remember it. They will get confused, and eventually, they will might decide not to continue selling the product. Also, be aware of a too revolutionary product. Usually, sales are more comfortable, with selling with what they know of, or some evolutions to what they know of. If it's too revolutionary, you will need to work very close with them in order to make it happen. Otherwise, they will just not sell it. And one other thing that you need to remember as part of your overall planning of a new product, on top of what is the market, and on top of what are the requirements and what is the pain and so on, you need to really understand if you have the right salespeople to sell this product. You might have people that are more transactional and are more capable of selling a transaction versus selling a solution. You are bringing a new solution, and this will not work. So you need to carefully think about it together with sales management, whether you have the right people in place to sell your product. So with that being said, I want to give you some of my best practices for working with sales. These are things that that were helping me, and now being a sales person are things that are important for me. And when I'm trying to engage with the team and trying to help them sell, I always remember that. The first thing, make it worthwhile. Again, I cannot stress more how important that it is that it will be worthwhile for the salesperson to sell it. No good commission, no good time to effort or efforts to revenue. It will not work. It will not work. And one of the ways that one of the things that you can consider in terms of making it worthwhile for the salespeople is actually to work on their commission. So ideally, you get sales management aligned with what you are doing. Ideally, you have a specific bonus for selling your product or your feature or whatever that goes through the year. Ideally, it's part of their targets, or they have a specific target for selling your product. This is ideally, but in some of the cases, it's not possible. So you need to be sure that there are other manners, maybe short time commission, what is called like a spiff, or anything that goes around that, and also be sure that that you are not conflicting with other priorities that they have. So make it worthwhile for sales. If there's one thing that you need to remember, this is it, and this will really help you. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Whether it is the messaging, whether it is the incentive plan, whether it is the pricing that you are building, the value proposition, competitive, keep it extremely simple for the sales people. Not more than one or two bullets, maybe three tops. They will not remember. And again, remember that the things that they are under a lot of pressure and they have so much to do, and it's really hard to be a salesperson. Really, it's really hard. Make it really simple for them. Make sure that they understand your value in 1, 2, 3 bullet points. That's it. Listen, wow, this is really important, and it helped me so much in my life listening to sales. Sales frequently interface with customers. They know the market superbly. I was thinking about myself as a product manager. I was talking with customers, let's say 5, 6 times a week, and I was really proud of myself. Sales are doing it in one day. Even sales people that are doing more than that. Depends, on what kind of business they are doing. They know the customers, they know the market. Listen to them. In some of the cases, especially if you're having close interactions with sales, they will whine. They will say, listen, this is not working, pricing is too high, the messaging is not working, we can sell that, That's great. Let them do it. Let them do it. It is important part of them, accepting, the new methodology or the new product or the new messaging. This is a great part of that. And usually you need to filter out all the whining and hear what the salesperson have to say, because behind it there is a true pain related to customer, that they want to share with you. And if you will listen carefully, you will be able to evolve your product according to that feedback. So this is really critical. It really requires you, I remember myself in all the sales interactions when I was a very young product manager. You want to respond, you don't want people, to be upset, but listen, let them share what they have and try to really understand what's behind this pain. So listening is important. Wow, be honest, no surprises, please. Remember, I told you that sales can get out of almost every situation. Don't surprise them. If you know that something in the product it might not work to perfection, if you know something in our messaging is something that eventually the customer can push back on, let them know about it. Prepare them in advance. they will be able to position it in the right manner. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about my salespeople knowing more. But when they know, they are able to position it in the right manner. If they don't know and it comes as a surprise, they lose face in front of the customer. They really care about the customer, and then they are not in a good situation, and all this frustration goes on you, and then you are not in a good situation. So be honest with them, no surprises, let them know everything up front. It will be fine. Be prescriptive. Who is your target? What kind of questions you need to ask in order to understand the pain of the customer? How do you articulate the value? Write it in words and practice with them and give them, the ability, to say it for you. Make sure it is very, very precise and prescriptive for them in order for them to do the job. And remember the first type. Keep it simple. We don't need long value prop, or we don't need long silver bullets for competition. Make it really simple and prescriptive. Repetition. This is another funny element, because we always try to innovate. We always try, to say things differently. I probably most of you are just came after a sales kickoff, and you had to create great presentations for your sales, and you probably asked yourself, okay, so what new can we say this year? We already told them this and that. And especially if you're meeting, with sales on a frequent basis, we have like every couple of weeks a sales meeting together with product. So what new can I tell sales? Remember, in most of the cases, sales are only listening to 50% of what you had to say. So potentially there are a lot of salespeople in the audience that didn't hear you in the first time. But you need to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Eventually, it will go through in the way that you want. And again, it's nothing against sales. It's a fact of life. This is the way that it works. Don't be shy about repetition. Eventually, you will see more people are asking you more questions as long as you are repeating. Talk about value. Sales eventually are trying to sell the solution. Talk about value, whether it is value to the customer, why they should use the product, what kind of pains it solves them, how does it help the customer achieve their goals. Try not to talk feature-wise, and if you are talking feature-wise, try to connect it to value. This will be very helpful to the sales person. But also think about, what is the value to the sales person itself. This can help you to be introduced to more new people within the organization. This can help you to create lots of more revenue. This can help you to reduce the amount of calls that you are getting from customers that are frustrated. Try to think what is the value to the sales person and communicate that together with the value to customers. Storytelling, we are great storytellers as a product people. It is important to continue and tell a story to the salespeople and make sure that they are taking your story, making some customization to that to make it fit their way of sharing a story. But you want to tell them a story. It will be easier for them to remember. It will be easier for them to repeat and replicate. So tell them a story. Okay. Involve sales early in the process. And this is probably related to when you have a big change that may impact a lot of customers, when you are changing something that is impacting sales, when you are creating a new product or a new offering, or when you are even when you are playing your roadmap. I really love talking to sales and sales management a few months before we go out with that, or even sometimes it's more than a few months. They need to be part of the process. If they are part of the process, first of all, you are gaining an incredible market insight. Remember, they know the market. They talk to customer all the time. Use it. Gain knowledge. Create a better offering. You are also going to find that you are going to become more creative in the business wise. They know how to smell money. They know how to do the right pricing. They know what will work for the customer. So take their advice and put it into your pricing, put it into your business perspective. But, and this is really, really critical, when you are involving sales, when you are involving sales management in the process, you will see that suddenly some of the pushbacks are going down. And if there is a pushback and you involve sales management, you will see that once you are doing the pitch, suddenly the head of sales is answering instead of you, because he was part of the process. He was part of creating that, and it's also his face to lose if things are going wrong. So involve them area in the game. You will just gain so much insight and so much good out of that. So this is a very recommended takeaway. Good. I hope you're asking a lot of questions so far, and I'm really keen to hear more. Here is another tip for you to remember. Make it simple for them to learn. One of the best sales sessions that I had is when sales practice, when they either conversed about the new offering, listed, the way to go against a competition, did hands-on while explaining, the capability and the value of the solution. But if you don't have this opportunity, so give them things that are visual. Give them, I usually like to give like a cheat sheet, so they can put next to them when they are doing their sales calls or go into sales meeting. So these are the most important things that you need to know about messaging. These are the most important things that you need to know about value. These are the most important things you need to know about pricing. This is really helpful. Don't count on your salespeople to go into a repository and look for the information. It will not happen. I tried so many ways, so many times to do it. It will just not happen. They don't have the time. If they don't know something, they will ask you. So try to think about ways that before they ask you, they have like this small cheat sheet that they can look into and know the answer for what they are looking for. And last but not least, and this will be my last point with respect to things that you can do when working with sales, is join the battle. What do I mean by joining the battle? I mean that eventually you need to go and be with the trench in the trench with them. You need to be with them in front of the customers. You need to hear what the customer has to say together with them. You need to be able to help them to improve their sales pitch while they are conversing with the customer. Obviously, don't do it on the call, but take notes. Take notes about the things that you thought that they could have done better. They are really, really interested in hearing that, and share it with them after the conversation. This will help them be more successful and will create a better connection between you and sales. And this is really, really critical part of our job as product managers. So remember repetition. Let's do a quick repetition here about what we've discussed so far. So make it worthwhile. Critical. No money, you will not see salespeople selling. Keep it simple. Listen to what they have to say, but be honest and no surprises. No telling lies, no telling things that are half truth. They want to know everything up front. Be very prescriptive and repeat that again and again and again and again and again and again. Talk to them about the value and help them tell a story by sharing a story with them. Involve sales earlier in the process and use tools that will help them to remember the pitch and offering. And when you need, join them in the battle. Help them be more successful while being next to them with customers. So these were my 11 key things that I've been using so far, and I would be happy. Yeah.
I'm stopping you in the middle, but with a really good reason, because I think you mentioned 11 so important tips. We should take a moment to talk about them and to see what the audience has to say about it. What do you say?
Absolutely. Let's do
So
it.
much content. I know. You're so eager to teach us more, to share more, but we will do that. But just 1 minute of a break between the two parts here of your great session. And I want to go back to the question you asked us at the beginning about the portion that salespeople have to do with the success of the product. Now we have Choresh from Switzerland saying, "Hi, Shahaf, Choresh Ben Shitrit." And he's saying that in his opinion, which is actually my opinion as well, sales is at least 50% responsible for the success of the product. My reasoning is that because it is a funnel, if they don't create the starting point of the funnel, it really doesn't matter what comes afterwards. Like, you need miracles afterwards to make the product succeed if the sales part of the funnel, like the first 1 and 2 steps, are not good enough. And I'm curious to learn from you. What do you think is the percentage of success product salespeople have to do with the product?
So I would agree 50%. And by the way, Choresh, great to see you on this forum. I think I know Choresh from past life, so it's such a pleasure. I'm sure you're doing great stuff in Switzerland, so great to see you over this conversation. So yeah, 50%, definitely, some of the cases, maybe even more. If sales will not take the product to the market, who will take it? If they will not understand the value, it doesn't matter how good is your product. It doesn't really matter, how it fits the market. It will not be sold, and eventually this product will be buried, and that will be a great unfortunate. So I think 50% is probably the right percentage of sales responsibility. The other 50% are really also important. So don't for a second think that you can create a product that actually answers the pain. It needs to start by that, but then focus on yourself.
I agree. What do you say? It is the right time to bring on at least one question from the audience, because there is a very interesting question waiting for us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. So we have Avi, who's saying, "Thanks for an interesting session." And he's asking for an organization that has been selling industrial products so far and is now required to sell a technology product. So if we are talking about the culture of the salespeople and the organization, it was more traditional products at first, and now it's going more towards high technology. What is your advice for creating the right interface with them? Bring them to the new culture, again, moving from selling more traditional products into selling high-tech oriented products. That's an interesting one because it has to do both with the product management and salespeople, challenge, the culture, but it also has to do with the perspective in mind of what people are we looking for. Do we need to hire new people, or can this be the same people that we already had in the organization, and things that have to do with the organizational structure and what we need to keep in mind? A super interesting question, and I'm actually very eager to learn from you. What do you think?
Yeah, Avi, this is an excellent growth question that I think a lot of companies that want to grow, want to create new business that they've not have been to in the past are asking themselves. So thank you for bringing this on. I will say a few things that come to my mind in that respect. First of all, if it is completely different business, different audience, and I'm kind of taking it your question a bit further than what you asked, you need to ask yourself, what will it take for me to get my salespeople there? Is it too much of an effort that I need? If it will take me now 3 years, to get the right people there, maybe I should consider at least to some extent to get people from that industry and to get people that know how to do it first, and those people will lead the transition for the sales the sales team. So first of all, you need to understand what is the change. Is it like a huge change, or is it a small change that most of your team can adapt? Second, think about the incentive. if you will not create the right incentive for those for the sales people to sell, they will not sell it. And this incentive really needs to be huge, because think about the effort. Now there is a salesperson that used to sell A. Now we need to sell B, which is completely different, completely audience, completely new things that you need to learn. He needs to invest so much, and he has targets. He needs to meet the targets. So this really needs to be money-wise good for the sales person to do it and to make effort around it. So this is another thing that you need to think. The third thing is, which is kind of related to the first, is training. Think how you are going to train your sales person or your sales team. What kind of training they need to have, not just about the product itself, but maybe you need different skills. Maybe now you are moving into solution selling versus transactional selling. Maybe now you need people that have expertise in a different industry. So think about everything. Actually, it's not just you. You need to work together with your sales leadership in order to come with the right training for the sales team. Now, after you do that, you start running, and potentially what you need to consider that maybe not all of the sales people that you have in your team will be able to sell the new product. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Some of them can continue to sell the old product, and it's good, it's great, it continues to create you cash flow for the company, so don't worry about it. Those that will be able to make the change, that's great for them, because they were able to take it to the next level, and they will be augmented by other people that you will bring in along the way that will shorten your time to get you to your targets. So in high level, I hope I did provide you with an answer. Think about the incentive. Think about them training. Think about bringing new people, and don't worry if not all your salespeople are doing the transition. That's absolutely fine.
A lot to think about. So thank you very much, Shahaf. These were great points. And before we continue to the second part of your talk, let's take another question from the audience, with a question that comes from Racheli, and she is asking, B2B sales in large companies are very long and involve many products, sometimes sold in bundles. And then she asks, how do you recommend I push forward my product with sales as part of the bundle? So we have a few products bundled in one company, and she, as the product manager, wants to make sure that her product, the one she wants to push forward, will actually be pushed forward by the salespeople.
So, your questions clearly state that you understand the business. You understand that it will not be sold just like that. And if sales have other bundles and sales priorities, they will not sell your product. So, great kudos to you for understanding where you are at. Now let's think how we can help you. So first of all, you need to understand how your product fit into the bundle and what kind of value it eventually create to the end customer. You need to really, once you identify that and you see that there is good reason, for the product to be part of the bundle, and it's actually a very important part, I would recommend, you sit through with your sales management and think together with them, what does it take in order to sell your product as part of the bundle? What kind of incentive they need? How we make sure it's not left out as part of the bundle. Another interesting thing that you need to remember, and remember that if you are working in a really big company, I don't like saying it, but you are competing with other product managers, and that's true. So we will say, eventually you're competing for attention. If you will be closer to your sales, if you will find the right relationship with sellers and sales management and push for your product, obviously assuming that it generates value and assuming that there is enough value, you will be successful. and those that are getting the attention of the salespeople. And again, I know it's not nice to say, but this is life eventually. And eventually, people are selling things that they are more familiar with, things that are easy for them to sell, things that are eventually generating more money for them. This is life. So if you will be able to get yourself to that position, you will be successful. And I'm sorry that I don't know too much details about your product, but feel free to reach out to me later on and share more insight, and we can think about it together how I can further assist. I hope this question suffices you for this time.
I'm sure it is. And Avi is here to say, yes, you did help me. So thank you very much for that. And with no further ado, let's continue with your slides.
Awesome. So actually, this next topic is actually very much related to what Avi asked, and I think Avi, there are a few more things here that you can take out of that, and this is related to something that I feel is sometimes very neglected by a product manager, and this is with respect to new product, new offering, new feature launch. And I call it the growth gap, or this is actually how growth is achieved. And let's talk about it for a second. So you have the salesperson, and the salesperson is extremely operative. Is at the here and the now. He needs to sell for this quarter, for this month. He have a target. Very much focused on what he have now, the product that he have now. He needs to sell. On the other end, we have the product management, very strategic, looking 2 to 3 years ahead. Yes, part of the sales effort, but we are way in front of the carriage. Now we came out with a new product, and you need this new product knowledge to go into the salesperson. However, this salesperson is really into the now. They need to generate more money. They will use the easiest path, and the easiest path is to sell what we have today. And you can do training, but eventually there is a gap here, and I call it the new product gap or the new offering gap, which eventually is related to the growth of the product and even the growth of the company. What is the impact of having this new product gap? First of all, if sales do not know your product, or it takes them time, there will be slower adoption. Slower adoption means impact on your revenue. I'm sure that all of you have been asked, to provide predictions to how much money this can make, and then, after a year, you said $10 million. Why did we only make $3 million? What's going on? And it creates a lot of noise that is, in some of the cases, not really relevant and necessary. So pipeline is not growing, and pipeline is the opportunities, or the amount of opportunities that exist. It's not a sale, it's just the opportunities that exist for the sales to follow and try to close. And in some of the cases, it might lead even to burning the product. So sale will say, listen, this is too complex, we don't understand the new offering, we don't know how to do it, I'm not going to sell it. There's not enough incentive there, I'm not going to sell it anymore. And last but not least, think about yourself. This is extremely frustrating. You've been working so hard. You're spending your days and nights, sometimes the weekends on the product. You've been talking to customers and everything. It doesn't sell. Eventually, the way that the products are measured is, how much revenue they generate or how many users. It's the same from that point of view, and it doesn't grow, and you're really frustrated. So there are ways, to avoid this frustration, and think about it for a second, how you can close this gap. So according to my belief, the way to close this gap and to actually achieve growth is to join the cycle. You need to be able to join the cycle and be part of the sales cycle for your new product. And probably you are saying, wait a minute, I'm not selling. I don't like selling. I don't like the concept of it. I don't know how to sell. I'm not selling my product. I'm a product manager. I know the strategy. I know everything. I'm not selling the product. Remember, you are frustrated. You are going to be frustrated. And part of reducing this frustration is to help the sales team that really are really struggling with the first few sales of your product because they don't know. They don't know, and they have currently other things that they need to do. So let's talk about the I don't know or I don't like selling. First of all, you have the best knowledge about this product within your company. And again, I'm continuing to say product, but it can be offering, it can be other features, whatever you want to replace product with. You have the best knowledge of it, and there's no one else in the company that knows who to target, what to ask them, and how to do it. So this is first part of starting to sell something, to know more about what you are saying. Second, and this is generally speaking, product managers are excellent at detecting customer pains, even better than salespeople. You would be surprised, but even better than salespeople. You don't know how much sales training, general sales training, is involved around trying to understand customer pain. You know how much you are trying to make your people try to understand customer pain. For product manager, it comes naturally. This is what we do. This is how we discover pains of customers and how we discover what we need to do. So so we are great at that, which is critical to the sales process, because if you don't understand customer pain, you will not be able to offer a solution. Also, you obviously want the product to be successful. So whatever it needs in order to sell the product, at least for the first few instances, you need to make it. And last but not least, I will ask you, so don't tell me that you can't sell. Every product manager eventually has sales instinct. And if you can't sell, how were you able to convince your management and your company and your CEO to create your amazing product? You know how to sell. It's just a matter of doing it for you to be successful with your product. And remember, eventually you are not alone. You are not managing the entire sales cycle by yourself. There is a salesperson over there. They will know how to help you. Eventually, when you need to negotiate the price, they will know how to help you. You just need to help them to understand how they are asking the right questions, how they are positioning the product in the right manner for the first few times. After you do that for the first few times, they will know how to replicate and do more. What are the benefits eventually of joining this fascinating cycle? Is you increase adoption faster, because you are constantly pushing to get more customers and grow the pipeline, eventually converting customers. You are making the sales cycle scalable. Remember, sales are good at repetition. So since you are part of the process and helping them to learn while you are next to them, you are helping them to scale and do it for more and more customers. Another important thing is that we think that we've got everything figured out when the product is launched, but we don't. Sometimes when the product meet the road, there are some glitches there. Maybe the messaging is not fine-tuned. Maybe some of the value prop needs to be adjusted. Maybe pricing is a bit slightly different. You want to hear it at first hand. You want to be able to listen to it and take quick actions based on that, and eventually improve your go-to-market plan. And if that's not enough, that you are going to sell your product, you earn the respect of sales, because you've been with them in the trench and you've been together with them. You have been helping them to make more money. And the next time that there will be a new product and you will be leading that, remember, they will come back to you because they know that you can help them to generate more revenue. And this is really, really critical in your relationship with sales. So how to do it? A few tips. It's not very difficult. Well, once you understand, and probably there are other ways to think about it. What you need to do is you need to go and list 10 to 20 prospects that might be relevant to work with. If you can identify what I call the innovative salespeople, so there are some salespeople in your organization that loves to sell a new product, that they are excited about it, and this, and they are happy to learn more and more. Try to find them. Try to go to their customers and try to pitch for the solution. And I'm sure that now you can start thinking about a few salespeople. Conduct pain discovery sessions with relevant with those relevant customers to truly understand the pain. And once you understand the pain, and you understand that you can create the value, and actually the salesperson can also understand that there's money involved and there's budget, you need to pitch for your product and try to close the sale. Once you close the sale, very important, create a success story within the sales people within the company and promote it. Promote the salesperson that helped close the sale. Give him the sale. He did the sale. Give him promote him among in front of his colleagues. But remember, this is really critical, because without that, you will not be able to achieve scalability. And obviously, take point 1 to 6 and do it again and again and again until you have like 5 to 10 successes. And once you have that, take everything that you learned, create a sales training based on everything that you learned. Use the salespeople that have been with you in the trenches as part of the first offering, and create a scalability with your salespeople. These are like 8 very simple steps that that you can take with you in order to close this growth gap for new products or for new offerings. Okay, I know that we are kind of getting to the top of the hour, so I will share a few more tips, and then we'll take the last questions that you had in mind. So in terms of next step, and again, more than happy, to talk to anyone in person if you need more information. But this is my recommendation for you as a next step for the next quarter. Start building a strong relationship with your sales leadership. Involve them in your decision making. Talk to them about your product, and think, how you can create more value for them. Identify those innovative salespeople within their organization. They will help you to sell your product. Initiate frequent discussions with the sales, and remember the 11 best practices that we have discussed so far. And when needed, don't be afraid of it. Become a seller yourself. Sell your product. Be part of the cycle. Join the battle, and be part of the success of making your product a high-scale selling product. So, with that being said, I want to thank you for this part, and again, feel free to reach out to me. More than happy to take questions related to sales or product, or anything that I can help you to grow your offering and grow yourself in that part. Moriya?
I'm here with you. Thank you very much. That was super interesting and practical. So it wasn't, just the theoretical talking about sales, because I don't think we should only talk theoretically about sales, but actually diving into the details and talking about how to do it and how to make it in the day-to-day. We are almost at the right time to close the session, but may I challenge you before we'll close it?
Always.
We are here for the challenge. I like it. So, as you know, product managers, this is where we are, and it's all about prioritizing. So, from all the important and again practical things you shared with us today, what is the one thing that you would like everyone in the audience to keep in mind tomorrow morning when they start a new workday? And I'll give you some time to think, because I want to remind the audience that we are waiting for the like on this video. Shahaf has put a lot of time and effort into building this amazing session. So did our team, and we would love to get user feedback from you with likes and shares and like this page and subscribe to our channel and everything that has to do with product love around this session. So what is the one thing, Shahaf, that you want everyone in the audience to think about differently tomorrow morning or to keep in mind when we're talking about the intersection of sales, product managers, and how to do it combined?
This is a very good question, but I would go, to the first tip that I mentioned, and the first point of how sales think, make it worthwhile for them. Make it worthwhile for them, money wise, compensation wise. If you will be able to resolve that, this is definitely a path for success. And I wish you all great success there, making it worthwhile for them and then for you.
Yes, and actually it goes back to the basics of product management, because this is the value that we have to generate for them. It's kind of like users of the product, right? In some ways. So as much as we care about the traditional users or customers, they're also a part of this ecosystem of the people that have to do with our products. So we have to make sure that we generate value to them. This is an amazing, amazing tip, Shahaf. Thank you so much for this tip, for this overall session. It was so practical and valuable. I hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Anytime, just bring me on and, talk with people. And, again, Moriya, this platform that you have created for people to share knowledge, this is truly amazing, and really thank you on the behalf of the world for creating such a platform.
Thank you very much. And it's the right time to say again that you're also a mentor in our program. So we truly, truly believe in the knowledge that you bring to the audience as a whole and to your mentee. So thank you very much. From Tel Aviv, this was Shahaf Rozanski, Vice President of BizDev and Strategic Accounts at Celebrite and Product League Mentor. I am Moriya Kassis. This is Product League. Thank you so much for watching us, and we can't wait to see you in our audience at next week's event. Until again, go league it up. Bye-bye, leaguers. Again, Shahaf, thank you so much. I had so much fun. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.